You're now watching two old farts making noises.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, hello. It's a lovely song, this one. I
I know,
want
right?
do 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 do.
I feel like it's almost like a
Lovely.
1960 bad spy movie song,
Yeah. And
right?
you
It's
talk
almost
about
like Get
spy. Yeah,
Smart, but
yeah.
worse. And it should be like Don Adams and the Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello trying to rescue somebody with that music, with Rocky and Bullwinkle helping them out. I think that would be the
Okay.
perfect. That's what that music reminds me of, and it makes me smile every time I hear it. And just to put something to rest that you guys discussed on last week's show, which all the people that mentioned it, as you can tell, aren't here this week because we had them shot. Um, no, I'm not a spy. I was traveling for
No.
business and for being a spy. But it was great to be in the
Yeah.
UAE, and we were in the UAE and Doha, and it was very nice. And I should say Qatar, and the people there were lovely. They were very happy that we were there. They threw a big party when we left. So it was very after I left. Actually, they
When you
had it, not when I
left,
was there.
yes.
When I
When
left,
you
yes, they didn't have it
when you
when I was there.
left.
When I left, they said, "Ooh, we can have a big party now," and it was very nice. And I will have to thank the Ritz Carlton at JBE. Their staff was wonderful. They took good care of us, and they had a beautiful cigar lounge, which we ingratiated ourselves every night and smoking only the best
Ah.
cigars that we could find in
Oh,
the
lovely.
UAE. Yeah, so it was very nice. So it was there. Beautiful people. I would
Uh,
recommend if you don't have anything to do for a week, go visit the UAE, go to Dubai, and you'll enjoy yourself.
but the flight time, not everyone has
Yeah, not everyone
the
has a day and a half. That is true. It took me 26 hours or 24 hours to get there, and then it took me like 26 hours to get home. Yeah, so it was a long flight. But the nice part of it, I was in the front of the bus. And
yeah.
so they cater to you. I mean, like they have people, they have gentlemen's that undress you and dress you and shower you. It's very nice. So it's like they take
Yeah.
good care of you. And then at the Doha airport, the business class lounge, and I sent pictures because someone asked me, is
Yeah.
literally the size of two football pitches, and it's two stories, and it is like going to a
Ooh.
five-star Michelin restaurant. And I was like, wow.
Oh,
I
holy
was like, this
moly.
is this is where I could live here. And the airport
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Doha is
yeah.
just magnificent. I was just like, wow, this is gorgeous. So if you've never
Holy
been to
moly.
Qatar or the UAE, I would tell you, put it on your list and spend a
Yeah,
week or two, and you will not regret it. But it's an
yeah.
interesting and fun place.
But all the way from Norway, it would take a week or two to get down there.
Dude,
But
I came all the
okay.
way from the United States. You're from Norway. It's
I know,
nothing.
I know, I
One
know.
Amsterdam there is like a 7 hour flight, so you're not that far from Amsterdam. It's not like you live in at the
Okay,
Antarctic.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
only 2.5 hours to
Oh,
come
from
to.
Amsterdam, Psst, nothing. Then you just
Yeah,
pop over to Amsterdam. It's 7 more. It's like a
yeah,
day. For you guys, it's
yeah,
nothing. From the States,
yeah,
everything's an event. So
yeah.
it's like an event to fly. When I used to live in Montana, believe it or not, I lived in a place called Missoula, Montana, and I remember just
Montana,
going to
that's the
Montana. Yeah.
Norwegian. Yeah.
Blue Sky State. And I remember when I used to fly from Montana to New York, it took 8.5 hours because you had to fly from Montana to
Oh,
Salt Lake City. Then you had a layover. And then from Salt Lake City, you would fly either to New York or Atlanta to get there. It would take about 8 hours all in. And I used to laugh. I could have flown to Europe if I was on the East Coast. So being in Austin, I had to fly to Dulles. And from Dulles, I flew to Doha, which was fine. And from Doha, I flew to Abu Dhabi. From Abu Dhabi, I had a car take me into Dubai. And then coming home, it was kind of reversed, but I flew into JFK and JFK into Austin. But yeah, I would say Qatar Airlines, kudos to you. You are
yeah.
as good as Emirates, and I praise them. But the wonderful airlines. And then it's funny because we flew in the front of the bus on American Airlines on the last leg on the way home, and we were in the front of the bus, and the front of the bus is like cattle compared to what
Ah,
Qatar and Emirates
you
is.
have this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was like,
Let
I mean,
let's let's make a song about because it's so fun to say Abu Dhabi.
I like it.
So Once upon a time, I was in Abu Dhabi.
Keep going, man. I got
I
the
heard
beat.
some flights coming down too early.
Alibaba.
Whatever.
So,
Alibaba.
but here,
Alibaba.
wait. Before we no one wants to hear about my travel. But before we go further, Morton
Yeah.
is wearing a shirt, and on that shirt, that is our merch. He's got some of our merch. He's got that logo right there. And if David's watching, David, the logo needs to be bigger. We're just letting you know. But look at that. You guys can have no snobs or knobs merch. I know exactly what I'm having David get me now. I'm going to be getting a no snobs or knob polo shirt now. That's what I'll be wearing.
Everybody has to have one.
Everybody has to have one now. That's the one I want.
And they're very cheap, only $2,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're only making a limited run, and we touch them before you get them, so it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm going to be getting a no snobs or knobs polo shirt now. I'm very excited to get that and wear that. So I'm glad they got me one before they got me one.
Maybe I should move the other way around. I can
you're
do
good.
that in settings.
The merch link will be below. If people really like it, they can get it. And if the people are listening on a podcast, they're just going to have to go to our YouTube channel and get the merch.
Yeah,
that's okay.
But
we're not going to talk about travel.
The
camera looks good. You look good.
Okay.
Yeah. So last week you guys talked about a whole bunch of cool stuff, but today you want to talk about. You were telling me we're going to talk about old men stuff. What?
Yeah.
David should be here. He's an old man.
Taboos.
Old man taboos. Yes.
Yeah, old man taboos. Because
okay,
I don't think there's many men who are talking about this. It's a closed chapter. No one of my friends ever talk about standing for 15 minutes before you can let out the bear you
to make a pee.
Yeah.
But that's because you have a prostate problem and you need to go to your prostate doctor, and he's got to do what they call a scraping. And what's happening is that your bone is pressing against your bladder. And because that happens, it's not letting you release. So it takes you forever. I had that. I had the operation 7 months ago, and they go in with a little device into your rectum, and they go dugga 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 dugga, and then for about a week, so you got dugga dugga dugga, and for about 2 weeks you're peeing. It looks like whatever you're peeing, and then on the 4th week you pee like you were 20 again. Like I can, whether I sit or stand to pee, I can hit a golf ball from across the room now with it. It's like so it's a good operation to have.
You can actually pee your name in the snow. We did that.
I can pee. I can do the whole alphabet plus my name and all my relatives. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, so I forgot what it's called. It begins with a T. And I remember when my urologist told me I was going to have this. He's like, okay. He goes through. He shows me the video. I go, what am I seeing the video for? Like I'm going to be sleeping. You're going to knock me out for the day. Like I'm going to know you're doing this right. And so, it worked out. It worked out good. He says it lasts 10 to 15 years, which is good. The only bad thing, and I'm not worried about it because I have enough illegitimate children, is that you'll be impotent. You'll get an erection, but you won't come. So, and that I found to be true. But you have the sensation that you're coming. So if you have to come, don't get this. But if you want to pee like a normal guy and you're not worrying about having an orgasm, but thinking you are, it's great. And if you're going out with 20-year-old girls and you're our age, it's wonderful because none of them will get pregnant. So there you go.
Yeah. And so, you will not get pregnant yourself either.
Well, which is good because us getting pregnant would be crazy at our age. So, but yeah, no. So it was fascinating because I was like, Doc, I'm having this. And he's like, oh yeah, this is what. So they give you pills to shrink your bladder and your prostate. Those are the first two. You do those for 6 months. And after 6 months, if it doesn't get down to where they feel it's a good size, then the part B of that is this operation. And if that doesn't work, apparently there's something else. But I was happy that I didn't go to step 3. So step 1 didn't do what he wanted. So step 2, he was like, here's what we're going to do. And I was like, do it. And we did it. And I was like, this is awesome. And it's good. He says, you got to take care of it because if you don't, if it progresses, what'll end up happening is it'll cause other health issues that'll be like almost deadly. So like I caught mine because one morning I woke up and I had not wet the bed, but I wet the bed in blood from my penis. Yeah. So I was
No
like,
good,
ooh,
no
Dracula
good,
must
no
have
good.
visited me. I hope she was hot. And so I called my urologist. He's like, you need to come see me like right now. And he explained the whole what was going on and blah blah blah. And then he started asking me how I was urinating and da da da. And then he's like, this is what the
Oh,
problem is.
boy.
Yeah, so it's a whole thing. So if it's taking
Yeah.
you 15 minutes to urinate, you need to
No,
go see
no,
your
no, no,
urologist.
no. It was my father. It was my
Okay,
father because
but that's what your father had.
we were four kids, four boys, and we were waiting for the toilet, only one toilet, and Dad, come on, and then he just had to say it, and he was awful. He was
Yeah.
red in his face,
Yeah,
because
that's what it
he.
was. If he would have gone to the urologist a month later, he would be peeing like he's 20.
Mm.
So and I was shocked when when he was telling me all that, and I was just like, okay, because they do the whole MRI, but healthy as a horse. I'm like, cool, except for this one thing. I'm like, great, let's take care of it. So I think it was April or May of this year they did it, and I'm like, great.
I had a thing a week ago. I had to have one. There's something wrong with my stomach. It's always been. It's in the family
Right.
things. And my daughter has something, and my father, grandfather, all the way. So I had to start. I don't know what. I don't know the English term about this, but uh, rectum is important in this story. So I had
Right.
1.5 meter
Oh, you had
up
the
just to see the
to look at
you
your
know
kid. Yep.
everything on camera.
Yeah, you had, oh my God,
I
I
was
know what it's
awake.
called. I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about. It's a
No,
proctology
yeah,
exam. It's colonoscopy. You had a colonoscopy.
yeah, you got it, you got it, you got it.
You had a
And that
colonoscopy.
was that was no good.
Yeah,
It
no.
was
Well, it's because they knock you out. Hopefully they knocked you out. Here in America, they
no,
knock you
they
out.
didn't, they didn't,
Oh no,
they
here
didn't.
they knock you out.
Ah, I was I was alive.
Live is
Well,
good.
yeah, it's very good to be alive when they do
Yeah.
this. And I got this. You're so clean. The doctor told me you're the cleanest guy I had for minimum for over half a year,
Wow.
because you have these things you're gonna drink and
Right.
pills and stuff like that, and you have to empty everything before.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They either give you the pills or they give you the shake, and either one of them will make you have the Hershey squirts, if you will, or diarrhea for like 3 hours, like 3 days, and then you're good.
I have both. Yeah, lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
So we are talking about things that old man doesn't talk very much about.
Yeah. Old man
I
taboos, we're going to call the show. I like it. Old man
taboos, old man
taboos. I like
taboos.
it.
Yeah,
And it's
and
show
and we have
303.
and we have another taboo, at least as I know, because um, some of my friends, male friends, they are, when we are sitting having a beer or cognac or whatever, and some people are coming into to the theme love.
Okay.
Um, what was it when you fell in love with your wife or stuff
Well,
like
when
that?
I
And,
bought her
and
from her family. So, I traded them 2 oxes and stuff, and it was great. It worked out well. And Rodney Dangerfield had the best line when it comes to love. He goes, "Everyone's looking for love." He says, "I'm just looking for a shallow half hour." So, I just think it's one of those things. So, but
Okay,
yeah.
but some people are very ashamed of admitting and remember the feelings.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
bet I bet they remember it, of course, because
Yeah.
you never forget that feeling that
It's yeah.
you were flying. Everything was fluent.
I it's when you whatchamacallit, when you when you meet your person, it's amazing. And so it's like I remember the first feelings, like I've been in love several times over, I'm 12 billion years old. So I've been in love a few times.
Yeah,
So I remember, like, if someone says, "Oh, do you remember so and so?" Some people I remember, like, the minute I saw them, what I felt, not that it was like
Yeah.
infatuation and it grows. And then other people, I'll remember them. I'm like, nope, don't remember anything about you other than I met you and you were nice and we might have dated. But with my wife, I remember the
Yeah.
whole process, so like how I got from A to Z. And there's a couple other
Ah.
girls that I remember the process of that, like the love and the feeling. But you're right, men don't talk about that. Now, like I've got male buddies that will go, love you, mean it, kidding around. But that's the way guys, tell each other they love each other, they give each other a
Yeah.
hug and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, men aren't
Yeah.
like, like women are, like, oh my God, I missed you. Like, all right, calm down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember that night? And this is our song
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like
My
that,
wife will
you
go,
know?
"What's our song?" I don't know. She goes, "Do you remember when we first like what was I?" My wife will be like, "What did we what was I wearing when I first met you?" And I'm like, "What the?"
Oh,
So I'm
typical.
like, "Okay." So I was
Nothing.
like, "No, right." I was like, "You're doing nothing." She was
No,
it's
but
just like,
it's fun to break down the kind of the rules.
yes,
You know, the rules of old man,
what you can
dead
and
man
can't do.
walking.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I find it fascinating, because people don't like to talk about it. But it's even like we just talked about the prostate thing. It's like people don't talk about
Yeah.
it. I mean, when I had the
Yeah.
operation, David was asking, "Oh, what's wrong?" I was telling him, and one of our guys on Lost Dollar Business Club is kind of having the same thing, and he doesn't like talking about it. I'm like, dude, it's okay to talk about it. It's like in my
Mm.
father's generation, we were told you don't talk about it. And like, if they're your friends and they ask how you're doing, granted, they don't want you to open up the book and go, all right, well, number one, it's just like I'm doing good, or I got to go get this done. And they want to hear that, but they don't want, like, they
Yeah.
don't want war and peace. So, and I think, they took it to, in the 50s and the 60s, the men were they were very stoic. It's like, they can lose an arm or a leg. How you doing? I'm doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
it'd be
Yeah.
like, well, it would help if I had a leg to get up the stairs, type of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm still from the generation, I'm doing great. But if a close friend says, like, "Hey, are you going to what are you going for the operation for?" So I have no big deal telling them, and it's
Yeah.
nice. But, so I have a handful of what I'd say close friends. Everybody else is like an acquaintance. And if you ask, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
trust you enough, I tell you. And telling
Yeah.
people on our shows, it's no big deal, because if it helps some guy, older guy, or even a younger guy can have
Yeah.
the problem,
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
doctor
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
get it taken care of. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
No,
You
it's
know,
not. It's not.
and I think everyone's ashamed of it. I'm like, what are you ashamed of? You're like, it's just
Yeah.
that's life. So, go do.
Yeah.
So,
Like one of my friends regarding the 1.5 meter. I don't know in your
colonoscopy.
terms. Yeah, but how long is 1.5 meter
Oh,
in?
1.5 meter would be about 4.5 feet.
Yeah, okay. I'm very happy they didn't use feet into my yeah so
But here's what's funny
meters
though.
are
In America, when you have a colonoscopy, they knock you out. Like, you're out.
mm,
You're not awake for it. You go under and you wake up and you're done 4 hours later.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I was awake. I
Really?
saw on the screen. I saw
Wow.
everything.
Did they give you like a
Yeah, I
local
was so.
anesthetic or anesthesia?
No, they gave me some tranquilizers.
They give you some scotch. Like, here, drink this. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd be like, yeah,
Uh,
I'm good.
that's all. So, and they were very, you have to follow the movie, kind of.
Yeah.
And I said, well, can I have a copy of this movie, because
Yeah, right.
it would be very interesting to
Yeah, we want to show it on your show. Come on. World
you, you,
premiere.
you know, Norway was a good friend of mine. Invented the slow TV.
Okay.
You heard about that, yeah?
I have not. So tell me what it is.
Okay, the slow TV is day and night. The first project were the train from Bergen
Okay.
to Oslo,
Okay.
and they sent. It takes about 7-8 hours,
Right.
and they sent it minute by minute
Oh, wow.
with some when they stopped, they told a bit about this place, and then
Okay.
you just saw the lane, and
Right.
then came more and more about this all over the world.
Right.
Maybe not America, because you want it speedy all the time,
Right. Right.
but but it's great. It's absolute. You can just jump in one of those TV programs, and you can be on a boat from Bahamas to the North Sea or whatever, wherever, and
Right.
it doesn't happen much, but you can just watch.
You know what? In
Very
this
slow.
day and age, I think people like that because no one wants to leave their house still. So yeah, why not? Slow TV, I like that. That is very cool. I'm sure if we
Slow
had,
TV.
listen, there's a YouTube channel where people just watching a fish in an aquarium. And
Yeah,
it gets like 30 million views. So if people are watching fish in an aquarium, I'm sure they'll watch slow TV.
yeah.
I think they would do that all
It's
day
meant
long.
it's meant for some people. I was not.
It's meant
too
for
fond
slow
of it.
people.
Yeah, it's meant for mentally people. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
So,
it's meant for David. Guys like David. He's just,
where
takes
is
a little while.
David? He's out traveling again.
David, please. He got his COVID shot, and because he's not, he doesn't feel good. His arm hurts some. He's dizzy. He's this. He's. I'm like, all right. So you'll take a day off.
So
he'll take a day
then
off.
we have to sing again. I'm a singer,
I got that. Yeah.
David's on the road again.
No, I think David's on his back again.
Yeah, okay, on his back again.
Yeah, David will be back tomorrow. Well, on Friday when we do Lost Dollar Business Club. David will be back for that and for Noosh's Bits. And since we're doing this on a Saturday, wink, wink, he won't be here for the No Snobs or Knobs show, but that's okay. So
it's okay.
Yeah. But this is like a good. I like this show. When I wasn't on it last week, and I watched it later in the day, before everyone else got to see it, and I liked it. It's just a fun show, And one day it'll find this huge audience, and people are like, "Wow, they just talk about stuff." It's just like two guys at a cigar club talking about whatever.
Yeah.
Like those are what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the ad hoc thing is everything in this show. I just love it because you can talk about missiles or whatever, and then you talk about your
prostate.
If you can, prostate. If you can write your name in the snow. Yeah.
Which now I can, so I brag about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you really, but you don't have much snow, do you?
Not in Austin, no. We don't have snow. No. So when I lived in New York, we had brown snow. So you didn't. That's because of the pollution. And in Miami, it snowed every day. So.
Yeah, but in Austin, you have awesome music.
Sure, let's go with that. Austin's like they keep talking about this great music town. Like they had ACL, which is Austin City Lights. It's nice. It's 3 days of acts coming into town. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what? Then it's done.
Like country, blues.
That's country. No. And if you want country, you go to Nashville. If you want the blues, or jazz, you're going to be going to whatchamacallit, either Chicago or you're going to go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So we have a music scene, but. Yeah,
but you have something in Austin, Texas is known for me as I love music, and it's maybe it's more Americana or
like you can walk up and down Congress and you'll hear musicians on a weekend playing at a bar, and it's nice to listen to them, but I'm not like, oh my God, this is the best music I've ever heard, and Austin is a music town. I'm like, it's Austin. I'm not impressed. Everyone that tells me they're so impressed with Austin, I'm like, why? It's a city that didn't plan for its growth. It's like traffic we're overpopulated. There's too much traffic. I'm like, so I said to some, tell me what you like. And they all say, well, the music. I'm like, great. When's the last time you went to see a music venue? And then there's dead silence. Or they went ACL. Okay, well, that's once a year. And it's very nice. What else did you do in Austin? And it's sort of like, they all drank the Kool-Aid and read the pamphlet. And I'm like, yeah, but what do you do here that you think it's so wonderful? And then people kind of look at you. And if you're from California or New York, you like it because there's no tax. So I understand why you like it. You're making an extra 20%.
No tax.
Well, before everybody gets all excited on the planet and decides to move here. So in the United States, there's certain states that don't have a state tax.
Oh, state
Texas
tax.
is a one of them. You still pay federal. Uncle Sam gets you no matter what, right? So if you're making $100 in California, by the time you're done with the city, the state, the feds, you make say $50 out of every 100. And then if you're in Austin and you make $100, what ends up happening is that you walk away with say like 65 to 70 cents. So there's a difference.
Okay, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, if it becomes a big deal when you start adding zeros to that dollar. So you start saving. All of a sudden, you're not paying this 15 or 20 or 30 or 50 or $100,000 in tax to the state. Now all of a sudden it becomes real money.
Yeah.
So
it always depends. As my math teacher told me, the zeros never have to be before the point. It has to be after.
Right. They have to benefit. If they benefit you, it's perfect.
Yeah.
If they don't benefit you, not so good. And if I had my druthers, I would live in Dallas or South Lake before I would live in Austin.
Wow. And so
Dallas no, South Lake. It's a city outside of Dallas.
Okay.
If we have to stay in Texas. So if that's the case, I would go to Dallas. Dallas is more like New York City, but clean. Their infrastructure they planned, and it's more metropolitan. I think the problem, and I watched this guy the other day do a thing, and he's like, Austin's still trying to keep it weird. The people from New York that are coming, we don't want weird. We want a metropolitan city that functions. The people from California are coming. They're just too stupid to know what to do. They're just, they're just like, I'm from California. So, and the people that are from Austin that have been here their whole lives that are like the hippies, they're getting moved and priced out relatively quick because the people from California are selling their houses and they have money and they have to buy a house and they'll buy a house here. And it's like, oh, look, so everything's going up, up, up and up. But I don't see like whatever. Now they're doing what we call the big dig here, like they did in Boston. They're going to spend $5 billion to expand the highway and infrastructure. So that'll be a goat screw for the next 5 years. So it's going to be interesting. And if they do it right and can do it quickly, which I've seen what Austin does, so I'm not holding my breath, it would be okay. But because everything here is an event and a project, and it's like, oh, no. I think they're going to make it worse, and people will just keep complaining and whatever. But and I'm here because we have to be here for my stepson, and I'm good with that. And after 5 years, I can go anywhere I want. So I've already got my places picked. And Austin is not one of them.
It's Norway where you can pee in the snow.
Yeah, of course, because I want to pee in the snow now that I can. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. No, I think we keep joking about going to Thailand. Actually, I think we're going to end up in Thailand. My wife likes Thailand, and I'm like, sure, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, if the cost of living is low, the medical care over there is better than the United States. And it's like the people are friendly, and everything is, it's going up because people are finding out about Thailand. Apparently, it's a new country; no one ever heard of it, and so people are starting to go there. But it's no different than when you go to Portugal or these other places, or even the UAE. They're all beautiful, but Thailand just has the right kind of weather. Like I would live in the UAE full time, but the UAE, it was 30 to 35 Celsius. So for the Americans that don't know how to convert, that's 90 to about 105 Fahrenheit. And the problem is that the humidity is like South Florida humidity. So it's like you walk outside, going to meetings in suits and ties the first morning, and I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. I was on the balcony this morning. There's a breeze from the ocean. I walk outside and to get into the car with our driver, and this wave of humidity hits me. I'm like, oh shit, it's just like Florida now. And so you've got to be indoors, air conditioning. Now I don't know if that changes at any point in the year, but what are we in October? And I was like, okay, this is like Florida. Like, Florida is no humidity from November to April. And that's what I thought of there. But it was, other than that, I would live there. The cost of living there, I don't think is any different than Thailand. I don't know about their medical. You just have to be okay with the region you're in. Like Thailand, you just have to be okay with that region you're in. Like Thailand, you have China ready to blow up everybody. And where the UAE is, or the Qatar, the Kuwaitis, which is great, up the road, you have unpleasantness all the time. You got to be okay with that. If something happens,
Yeah.
you may have some unpleasantness.
I heard that the food is gone up the food and the beer and the liquor is gone up in Thailand, because I have a friend of mine who has a Thai woman
Right. Ooh, I like
wife,
tying up women.
and
I'm sorry, something's different. Go ahead. So,
that's another one.
that's
Okay,
it.
we
Hilda's
talk
House
about
of
that
Pain.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah. And but actually, I was randomly meeting this guy 2 years ago in Bulgaria. We were
Okay.
down there, and we found out that the liquor and beer and stuff like that was
Right.
much more comfy in Bulgaria.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's just. I think it's all a game. It's like when Australia pissed off China. China basically wouldn't buy their wine anymore, which kind of screwed them up, right? So it's all an economic game. So wherever Thailand is getting its alcohol from, don't piss them off. There can be a
yeah,
shortage. I know during COVID,
yeah.
everything went up because of the shortage of you couldn't make
I
scotch, you
know.
couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, and now
Yeah, yeah,
things seem to be getting back to a normal flow, which is good.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that I'm happy with. But yeah, I mean, and in 5 years, the world will be a different place. So who knows where we'll end up? But I know that's my wife's
No,
big
you
thing
never
is
know.
Thailand. And I'm like, great, we'll go to Thailand. I don't care. I mean,
I
at the
have
end of
a
the
I
day,
have a dream. I have a
yeah,
dream to go to Romania. I've been
I've been there.
25 times in Romania. I've been
Right.
because I opened Romania. When Romania was entering European Union,
Union. Right.
I was down there to trying to collect. Not even not trying, but I collected workforce for Norway,
Right.
because we in Norway, nobody, we are so rich, nobody really want to have the
A job.
garbage jobs
Right.
now. It's only if you have a very good and smart, if you're a digital artist or something like that,
Right.
no, a consultant for a thing or whatever. But Romania, I just love it. It became my second country. Where have you been in Romania, sir? What
Um,
what what cities do you remember?
I don't. I know we went to the capital, and which was the funniest thing. We met our person that was a Romanian when we were in London doing a deal. We had to go to Romania, and they took us to the capital. I can't remember the name, but they took us. They purposely took us because I joked about it the whole time we were in London. Dracula's castle because they made it into an amusement park, and he laughed and he goes, "It's open." And I said to him, "If we have to go to Romania, I don't care what we do. I have to go there to say I've been there." And so when we went to Romania, that's the first place we went. And I just started to laugh. I
Yeah,
was like, okay, now I've literally seen it. And Vlad the Impaler's castle, I'm good. I'm like, and then we,
yeah.
we had like one or two meetings and then we came back to the UK, but I can't remember the little town we were in. But everybody was very gracious and nice. I've never had a problem when
Uh,
I've traveled.
no. I
Yeah.
know the place.
Yeah.
I've been there several times, and you see the pillars outside.
Yep.
Because he loved the color
Impaler.
red.
Yeah.
Vlad Tepes. Vlad Tepes. He
Yeah.
loved the color red, and they were sitting there around, bleeding
Yeah.
to death. It's Brand
Yeah.
Castle,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Well, when they were doing it, I remember the guy was telling us that they were trying to make it into like a Disney World, but I guess nobody went for that. So it's just sort of the cat,
No,
they were
no,
going to make it into
no,
this big amusement thing. And that's what made me joke with him because I read about it in The Economist and I was like, dude, we have to go.
no,
I have to check out Disney World, Dracula's Disney World. And it
no,
was just
no.
fun to
It's
go
not
to.
this.
But as I've gotten older, even when I was younger, and I've traveled the world, whether it's for business or pleasure, I've been very
Mm,
fortunate. I've been to a whole bunch of places. I've had a good time
yeah,
no matter where I am. and I met a whole bunch of interesting people. I mean, so to me, it's sort of like travel is like, that's awesome. And I mean, I've done it in the United
Yeah,
States
it's
when I've
awesome.
traveled. I still meet interesting people, but in the United States, it's a little different because I still get to know you, and I get to know, like, if we're in a different state. Like if I'm in New Orleans, it's a little different than if I'm in New York, right? Because everything's a little different. But it's like
Yeah,
we're all Americans. It's kind of the mindset's like we're all pretty much
yeah,
equal. But when I go to a different country, to me, it's like tell
yeah,
me everything. It's a much
yeah,
different thing.
yeah,
So I enjoy the travel part of that. So I like that.
yeah.
Even if you don't speak the language, I still enjoy it. So
Yeah, because everybody can speak the local language as
yeah.
long as you have arms.
Yeah, that's true. And now with
You
phones, you can
can
just talk into your
communicate.
phone,
Yeah,
right? Now
yeah,
you just talk
yeah,
into your
yeah,
phone and your
yeah,
phone
yeah,
will do it.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but in the UAE, everybody
There's
speaks
a
English better than me. So,
there's a great place in Romania, up
right.
north in the county by Maramuresh.
Okay.
And it's called this little city. I've been there a lot, and I've also been helping with supplying, building up the hospital again.
Okay.
Baia Mare, Baia
Okay.
Mare. They had a great deal of silver and other
Nice.
minerals there. So Romania is great, but once I took this small plane,
Yep.
jumping plane
Yep.
with and we came to a sandstorm.
Oh,
Holy Moses! I thought I
yeah.
was, but
And you're
there
not even
was a
Jewish, and
great,
you're doing a holy Moses. Wow, that's a hell of a sandstorm.
yeah. Oh, you say that? Okay, no, I have. My
You're a Landsman?
grandfather's
Oh no, you're the other guy.
cross.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Landsman though, so that's okay. We still like you.
It's okay. I'm,
It's all the same at the
I
end of the
show
day.
it. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
I wore my Star
But
of David
okay,
to the Middle East, and all my guys kept saying, "Just don't show it to anybody." It's like, "Yeah, we're fine, relax."
okay.
So I was hoping not to get strip searched.
Middle East is a bad discussion now.
Well, Middle East,
Uh,
because of what's going on with Israel and Hamas and the Palestinian
yeah,
organization,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not so much it's a bad discussion. It's a very, very
It's a bad
in-depth.
story.
It's a very in-depth discussion. And the problem is like these idiot college kids here that were protesting against Israel don't know what history is because they're too stupid because their teachers don't teach them
Yeah,
anything because they're stupid and
yeah,
the
yeah,
university
yeah.
system sucks cock, full stop. And so do the high schools and grade schools. They all
Oh,
they all suck cock. They do nothing to teach
okay,
these kids about
okay.
life or history. So when these college kids are putting out, you know what, go fuck yourselves. Why don't you go over there and tell them you protested and see what happens? So that's the A part of their stupidity. The B part is if you don't read history and nobody does, then you don't
Yeah,
know how this all started, say 3 to 5 thousand years ago, and then what happened just
yeah,
say 100 years ago to keep it going. And if you don't
yeah.
understand the origin
So
story to get to this part of it, then for most of these college kids, as my one friend would say, and I mean this with all due sincerity and not really, to the college kids that don't know what to say, shut the fuck up. Like, don't say it. You have no opinion. Keep your mouth quiet. And if you know what you're
yeah,
talking about, and you're a guy who has at least read a book, and you can have an
yeah,
intellectual dialogue and then voice your
yeah,
opinion all day long. But when a college kid says whatever, and what they did here, I thought was
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
disgusting. I'm like,
Grow
just
up.
shut up. Yeah, go. Not even grow up.
Yeah,
Just don't
yeah,
speak. Do what you're good
yeah,
at.
yeah.
Sit there, look pretty. So, point, full
You
stop. I have
know,
no. Go ahead.
the other evening I was discussing with my, not discussing, but discussing with my earlier honorable politician friend,
Right,
and
right.
he said, "Well, down in the Middle East, it will never be peace. It began in 1948." And I said,
Well,
"Are
it
you
began
are you
before
mad?
that, but
Are you mad?"
yeah,
In 1948, Israel were given their own kind of state,
right.
but it began. It's been like this I've been reading a bit about it.
Yeah,
Not like you. I'm not that bookworm like you, but it began thousands of years ago.
yeah, yeah. And that's what
It's
people don't
it's
get. And you can't. and for the college kids over here that think they know everything and they don't know shit, if you don't know it, and you're lucky enough you're not there, and you're not in one of the households that Hamas came and like either raped your mother or killed your sister or whatever, then just what, like, shut the, like, literally you have nothing to say. And if you don't know,
Yeah.
especially the history of the whole region, because it goes
Yeah.
way, 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 way back, and you have to
Yeah.
understand, like, everybody lived in peace until almost 1000 CE, and then all of a sudden, religion, like,
Yeah.
the little
Again.
thing you wear on your neck and whatever, all these
Yeah.
came together, and all of a sudden it's like, you're wrong. What do you mean I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Before, they would fight over not religion, they would fight over the land. They'd fight over the
Yeah.
gold. They'd fight over slaves. They would fight over
Yeah.
this. Then when religion came in, it was sort of like, oh, you know what we can fight about? We can fight about God. Okay,
Yeah.
because now we all have different gods, or supposedly one God. Now we're going to fight about different gods. So that played a
Yeah.
part. And then, them thinking and when I say them, I mean the whole region, like, this is this is that. And really, it was Churchill and all them in the 20s. They drew the lines on a map one day because they were
Yeah.
bored.
Yeah.
And however you got shortchanged from what your ancestors got, kind of like your SOL, and that was it.
Yeah.
But if you ask a college kid about this, they don't know this unless you're a history major, and I doubt that they know it too. So there's a lot to the story. It's even when I look at China and Taiwan, it's like there's a whole story to this that goes back 3,000 to 4,000 years, and then it comes up, to like 400 or 500 years ago. There's a whole there's a whole act here. There's a first, a second, and an intermission, and a third, kind of what's going on in the Middle East.
Yeah.
But because people don't know that, because once again they're stupid and they don't teach them anything, and there's no more world. Like when I was in school, we had world geography, we had a social studies class, and whatever. So you learn. They made you learn. You had to learn what was on a map. Kids today, you look at a map, they don't even know what's on. They don't even know where the United States is, let alone any other country. So when they talk about it, they don't really get it, and I'm kind of like shocked, and I'm like, really? And you're going to be leading the country at some point. And I'm not talking some stupid little college. I'm talking like Harvard, Yale. They have no clue.
There's been programs in Norway, like Saturday fun programs,
right?
And they've sent over a team or two to United States, and they've been interviewing them. What do you know about Norway, or at least Scandinavia, Europe? And it
Nothing.
was a laughing stock. It was a laughing stock for us viewers because, Norway. I think Norway is the capital of Denmark.
Oh, sure, everybody knows that. We're not even a country.
Yeah. But that Germany was very connected to Sweden.
Really?
I
didn't realize there was no Baltic Sea. But no, go ahead. So.
Yeah, I know. You see, you got it. But
well, I've been to Sweden, and I've been to Helsinki, and I've been to all these places, and I know where things are. So yeah.
Yeah, but
that's funny.
And they were so sure of themselves.
Right.
The younger.
Yeah.
Like you say, the
college kids that are stupid. Yeah, I got it.
The college kids.
I have no problem calling them stupid. I call them stupid to their faces. I call my stepson's teachers when he tells me the crap they teach him. I go, "This is bullshit." I'm like, "This is wrong." First of all, second of all, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Did they read a history book? So I'm not allowed to go to parent-teacher conferences anymore because I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. And they're like, I'm not that, you offend them. I'm like, it's not my fault to offend you if you're an idiot. Like, learn.
Like one said, I need to go to Italy to see the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, sure, because they moved it.
But then, that they maybe it was in Pisa,
yeah, sure, because the Eiffel Tower leans. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, until you get to Pisa. Yeah. People are they're so dumb. It's very scary. But because when you say Norway, I think in the way of the economic, financial, global community. So when someone says Norway to me, I think, oh, one of the world's largest sovereign wealth funds. That's like $7 trillion. I'm like, I know what Norway is. I could care less about anything other than Norway. That I know one thing about Norway. That's the most important thing in my world. Is that the
And
sovereign wealth
now,
fund?
you know, the economical fund we have. We
Yeah.
have now bought up most of the main streets in London, for example.
Yeah. Oh, your fund's
They're
doing
ours.
crazy stuff. Like it's always in the
Yeah,
Financial
it is.
Times, and you're buying
Yeah,
tons of things. Your fund's just going to keep. Well, every time I see the Norwegian sovereign wealth fund, it's kind of like watching Saudi's sovereign wealth fund or the UAE or
yeah,
Kuwait or Qatar's. I'm
it's
fascinated on
crazy.
one, you just with because you have oil, all the money you keep
Yeah,
making, and then they'll buy X, and I'm like, oh, they just made another trillion, another trillion, another. I'm just fascinated
yeah,
by it. I just love it.
yeah.
So,
We have a ticker. We have a ticker
oh, I know.
on a website.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
you've
I
seen
know.
it. You know, we have a
Yeah.
ticker running like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a lot of Norwegians just like to, like slow TV. They
Yeah.
like to sit on, not
But
on
you know what's
TV,
nice?
but on internet, just to see the money
Yeah.
be
Just to see
generated.
the money keep going up. Yes, I know. The
Yeah,
nice thing
yeah,
about it,
yeah.
though, that because you apparently are the capital of Denmark, it is very nice that you guys have, you have that. That's awesome. You fucking morons, you people in America are embarrassing.
The
This is and
American,
this and stupid, stupid
no,
people.
but if you ask me about Cleveland,
Right.
I wouldn't know, but I know certain places. We really learned geography
Right.
in school. We did, so I can tell you about some main
Right.
places.
But there's a difference if someone says to me, like, I may not know the capital of every foreign country, and I'm good with that because that's not my gig. But I kind of
Yeah,
know where the continents are. I know how many
mm,
continents there are. I kind of know the
yeah,
oceans. I know these different
yeah,
seas around the world. I mean, like I
yeah,
have a clue. Um,
yeah,
but when you like Jay Leno used to do that, they would show like the picture of a country, and it would be like U.S. and they go, "What country is that?" And people are like Mexico, and they're like, "Seriously?" Or they'd be like, "Show Australia," and they'd be like, Denmark. I mean, like nobody knows. This is what I'm saying. They don't
no,
teach the kids anything today. It's like we're
no,
just putting
no,
them through. They'll put them through. So
yeah.
once again, and I kind of like
Show
when I
them,
was
show them
show.
through the
Yeah,
door. Yeah.
just so they can go spend $3 million on an education that's useless. I kind of liked it when I was a kid, where it was children were seen and not heard. You know,
Yeah.
until you have something intelligent to say, shut your fucking mouth. And I don't really say that to my stepson, but I do tell my stepson is, listen, I think it's good for you to have an opinion, but if I
Yeah.
ask you or someone asks you, why do you have this opinion? You can't say because Johnny at school said or my teacher said.
No, no,
You
no.
have to
You have
say,
to. Yeah,
I have this opinion because I believe, yeah, and you have to have points to your opinion. I said, and if you
of
don't,
course.
then in a nice, polite way, I say, shut the fuck up. Because then you cannot debate something if you have no basis for it. Just because something happened and your friend goes, that's stupid. Oh, it's stupid. Why is it stupid? I don't know. Well, why do you think you have to know? You just said it was stupid. So it's
Yeah.
the same premise. And I think the problem is we've gotten to this point in society where everyone's so woke and we don't want to offend this one and we don't want to do this with this one. You
Yeah,
know what? I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
care.
yeah,
I saw a t-shirt the other day. It says, I'm too old to give a shit. And I was too old to give a shit when I was like 5. So I don't care if I offend somebody. I don't care if I
No,
piss
no,
somebody off. I don't care if somebody
no,
doesn't like me. I'm going to tell you,
no.
from being from New York, I have no choice. I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. Sometimes I do it very diplomatically, and sometimes I do
Yeah,
it in my favorite my favorite game, which is go hide and go fuck yourself game. And I have no
yeah.
problem with that. And I think it's
My
important that people start doing that.
my way or the highway or whatever. I learned. I was out traveling. I've not been outside Europe. I
Right.
have to see. I have to say, but I've been traveling most of the countries in Europe. I have
Right.
on my list. So I remember once we met some people from Japan,
Yeah.
and and they said, and they are very, I met people from Japan several times because, and they are very curious. They want to learn by. And I said to them, well. I'm from Norway. Yeah, Norway. I'm not sure where Norway is. They were very kind and open. Can you give me a hint? Yes, it's a way up to Russia. It's a very long coastline. If you go from Oslo and you take the other way down, you're down to Italy. But it's a small. It's a narrow country, and one thing to remember it by is that do you like rats? No. Why you ask? I don't like rats. No. Because in Norway we have the name of the rat, Raticus norvegicus.
Really?
And that's true. That's true.
Very cool. Look what I just learned today.
Yeah,
I like that.
Raticus norvegicus. Just go to Google. He knows everything, or she.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, we'll all have to get together and we'll have to do a show where we travel for a week and just record it. And we'll ask people stupid questions.
Be wonderful.
We'll show them a picture and go, you know what this is? And people in Europe will get it. And the people in the United States will be like, I know, is it Chicago? They'll be like, yeah, you're doing great. Keep it up. So even Canada, listen, we always joke that like PS 137 in the city of New York can go kick all of Canada's ass, but at least they know where their countries are. Now, I don't know. I haven't asked anybody in Canada lately, but usually they were pretty smart.
But everything is bigger in Canada, yeah? The trees,
the women are. The women are huge, sure, because all I do is eat pancakes and maple syrup. I'm kidding. You're Canadian women. Okay. You're beautiful. Just shave your arms if you would, and your armpits and legs. That'd be great. The Canadian. I have met many very beautiful women in Canada. I have.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're very beautiful. Not all. Bigger and better would be Texas. Actually, I think that's the slogan in Texas. Everything's bigger and better in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, Canada, I think, is just the maple country.
In Canada, you have the riding police.
Oh, the Mounties. The Mounties, Canadian Mounties. Sure, guy on horses.
And just riding for themselves, not a human being nearby, but they're just riding around.
Yeah. Well, have you been to Canada? It's like
no. I have a friend who's from Canada, and he's telling me that they are just riding, having fun.
Canada is a very Canada is like U.S. light. It's very pretty. I've been to Vancouver many times. It's gorgeous. I've been to Toronto. It's gorgeous. I've been to Montreal. There's too many people that speak French there.
Okay.
They have an attitude. I've been to Winnipeg. Very cold. But overall, it's a beautiful country. Winnipeg, it's just gorgeous. I mean, the world itself is a gorgeous place if you can get out of your box.
But very, very large trees. I've seen pictures from my friends.
I have not. I didn't encounter that. Yeah, maybe.
Enormous trees.
Are you sure that's not the
women?
Old. So okay. So,
no.
You know what they call a beautiful woman in Canada, right?
No.
A Taurus. Anyway, so. I'm kidding. I love the Canadian women. Now I'm going to go to Canada for business, and the customs department's going to stop me. The Canadian Border Control, and there'll probably be some beautiful Canadian border agent. She'll be like, "Would you like to rescind everything you just said here?" Yes, Canadian women are beautiful.
Then again, you have to ride with one of the police there. Out in the bush.
Oh yes, I've never done that. That would be very cool, I think. So to be in anybody's bush.
In Romania, I was in the big swine, wild pigs.
Okay, pigs.
Not normal pigs, but they're living wild, and they have this horns, and they're really dangerous, and they run like shit. So they put me on a horse. Yeah. And I was drunk, and I had this rifle. I just shut up in the air. I didn't want to hurt these.
Sure.
But they came like a zoom.
Oh, boar! You were hunting boars.
Yeah.
Hunting boars. Yeah. And for the people listening that aren't sure what I just said, I didn't say hunting whores. I said hunting boars. So let's not get, for everybody that's gonna send us cards and letters, hunting boars is different. So
But we had a lovely mansion down there. It's for rich people. This one,
of course.
and
Well, we don't
and
travel with poor people.
no, we don't. We don't.
No.
Not third class.
No, you're only first. Only front of the bus, people. I don't care. You're gonna travel, you travel front of the bus.
But let's do something about this exploring the world or
Yeah.
What about you? Ever been in Australia?
I lived there. I lived in Melbourne for a while.
You will go down under.
I've been down under. I lived there. I lived in Melbourne.
You lived in Melbourne.
I lived in Melbourne. Sure. It's like the something hotel. Our office was across the street, and across the street from my hotel was the river, and it was the football stadium for football, and then the casino with the two dragons blowing fire was over here. And the first night there, I have the football game on mute because I'm talking to someone, and I hear screaming and yelling from the television, I think, which is the football game going on. And I said to my buddy, I said, I got this on mute. And he said, wait a minute. He says, and then I realized, I said, hold on. And I'm looking out I go out in the balcony and I realized it's not the television. I hear the screams from the actual football stadium. So it was very cool. Yeah. So I lived there. That was cool. And the coolest thing about Australia, I know they're going to hate me when I say this, is when you flush the loo, it goes in a different direction than it does anywhere else in the world. That was the coolest thing in the world for me. Yeah.
How come?
I have no idea.
They think the other way. Yeah.
They think the other way. And when you make a left-hand turn, you go into the far right lane to make a left-hand turn in front of traffic. I thought was strange, but okay. And then when I played golf, I hit a golf ball what I thought was into a pile of rocks. And as I got closer, they moved, and I realized I hit a bunch of kangaroos. And my buddy was like, "No. Leave them have your ball. Just drop. We're like pissed. Let's not piss them off." So playing golf in Australia was an event too. So it was fun.
I was at not the party, but I was out having dinner Sunday night, and I talked to some Aussies,
Right.
And I told them I want to visit your country, but those bastards of snakes, you have to get rid of.
Oh, you got the 10 top deadliest snakes in the world there, yeah.
But do you know what they said? They were our age, and they said, "No, there's nothing. It's nowadays you can just if you
take a shot.
You take a shot, and
you're good.
Nobody dies for it. Okay, if you go walking.
Well, if you're in the outback and you're like 25 hours away from help, you die. But if you're in the outback, I'm assuming you're with a medical kit. If a snake bites you, you stab yourself and you're okay.
You just stab yourself.
You give yourself the shot. You give yourself the anti-venom.
You do it the original way, like the
in the stomach.
Japanese,
Oh yeah, Harry Carey, sure.
Harry Carey, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Well, look at us. We covered a topic.
But if you're wrong, then it's.
Then you die. You're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
So you're either gonna go one way or the other.
Most of us are going to die.
Well, I'm not. I've been here for so long. I'm just gonna keep staying to annoy people.
If you are in a city and you see people go around, I see a lot of zombies.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure not everybody is living because.
No.
In some eyes, they're empty.
Yeah, they're dead.
It's nothing.
You got to live every day. Every day I make sure that I learn something or do something that's exciting. So when I do go, I'm going to be like, I did that, so I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's very
to-do list.
My to-do list. Or the bucket list is. I don't like the term bucket list. It's just a to-do list.
Yeah, but I think it's better to have up here to write the list. No, it's not me.
I like it. I'm the same way.
Next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a party.
The whole crew will be here. We'll discuss whatever. We won't talk about old man taboo topics. Maybe we will. We'll see.
No. Young man taboos.
We'll talk about just taboos in general. So
Yeah, I
everybody
don't
that
think
listened
young man has
and put up with us for this hour, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. The merch store is below. Don't forget, look at that cool shirt that Morton's wearing. You can get one too. That's a too old. Or the No Snobs or Knobs Club. And we will be back next Saturday morning. There you go. Look at there you have it. We will be back. I'm getting one now. I gotta get order one. David shows me all the merch, and I'm like, just order me whatever. I'm gonna tell him I need one of those immediately.
I made this, but now I see it's you.
It could be. Here, let's look. Let's do a zoom in before we leave. Maybe
it is you.
It is. That's a good looking guy.
You have some money in your left hand.
Yeah, so it is a good looking guy. All right, it is me. All right, I like that. So anyway, everybody, don't forget the merch link is below. Our media links are below. Morton, it's always a pleasure to have the dialogue with you. Everybody, we'll see you next Saturday. If you like the show, great. Tell your friends. If you don't like your show, keep your mouth quiet. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share it with your friends. If you want us to touch on a subject we didn't touch on, feel free to put a comment in the comment section and we'll touch on subjects. If you want to be a guest because you think you know more than us, by all means, come on the show. And that's it. Morton, I'll see you next week. Cheers.
See you.